I'm going to preview the 6 seed Baylor at 3 seed Purdue women's volleyball game, which literally will be played today at 5 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Obviously, Baylor escaped against Arkansas State 3-2. Baylor lost the first set and still came back to win. So this is the third time all year to win a match despite losing the first set. That is encouraging. I mean, 23-25. Baylor was down 5 at some point in the first set. They climbed back and they just couldn't get over the hump, and they tied it, and they just then went the next couple of points. However, Baylor did bounce back the next 2 sets, 25-20 and 30-28. That fourth set, they could have put it away. They had a good lead on them by 5 points, and then they trailed, and it was then 23 all. Baylor lost the last 2 points to make it 23-25. And that fifth set was a little back and forth. Then once Baylor took the lead again, they kept it and extended it. It was 15-10. Thus, Baylor's 18-9 on the year. Obviously, 12-6 in the Big 12. Yeah, they did play the first match of the day yesterday when compared to Purdue when they played Wright State, which was like literally 30 minutes afterwards. And Purdue did win that match as expected. It was a 3-0. 25-13, 25-21, 25-19. So you could say Baylor has the edge in this game by playing a closer match, especially when Purdue didn't at all. You could say that, and possibly the rest advantage, but I wouldn't say it by much. And obviously, home field advantage is Purdue right there. I would say that right now. Now, overall, Purdue is 25-6 on the year, 15-5 in the Big Ten. And I'm going to just make a note on some of these games that they lost. And I know this was early on, but September 3rd, they lost to Georgia Tech at home, 3-1. And they actually beat Kansas at home, but it was 3-2. They did lose to Illinois at home, actually, September 28th, 3-1. I do not know the injury stats for Purdue, by the way. I'm sure Baylor is healthy. I would think so because they played all the players that they wanted to, that were available. I would think they're healthy, but still. Of course, they lost to Nebraska. Doesn't matter. Nebraska's the number 1 team in the country and unbeaten. I'm just saying. They did lose to Oregon at home November 15th, so I'm not going to say they're invincible at home by any means. Because as you could tell, they have lost a few home games. And I know one of them was to Nebraska, but the Illinois at home and the Oregon at home, that proves it to me. I mean, that they are beatable. So what are some players to keep an eye on? And I'm going to put the stats in the description below, as well as the roster. And I tried to do the PDF form of Purdue, but it's just only showing up to the game before the first round of the NCAA tournament. So I'm just going to use the website version. So you got to bear with me on both offense and defense, and I have to translate from one side to another. So the first player is Rachel Williams, a redshirt defensive number 1, a defensive specialist as a redshirt sophomore, 5'7" tall. Now she has nothing in terms attacking, and no kills or no errors on no attempts, but 4 assists, 13 serves, aces, 25 serves errors, 25 digs. That's really it. Obviously, it's like Ryan McAleer, number 3. A 5'6" defensive specialist. That is a sophomore. 3 kills on 7 attempts with no attacking errors. 154 assists, 17 service aces, 38 service errors. Now, 424 digs, 37 receiving errors. That's really it. And there's Kenna Wallard, number 4. A 6'1" outside hitter. That is a junior. 521 kills, which is the most on the team, by the way, on 1,271 attempts with 206 attacking errors, 20 assists, 22 service aces. Now, 61 service errors. That's the most on the team. 228 digs, 50 receiving errors, which is the most on the team, too. 51 blocks, 9 of those solo, 19 blocking errors. That's also most on the team. There's Taylor Anderson, number 5. A 6'1" setter that is a junior. 101 kills on 221 attempts with 25 attacking errors. Now, 1,275 assists. That's honestly the most on the team. 16 service aces. 22 service errors. 1 receiving error. 71 blocks. 9 of those solo. 5 blocking errors. And 3 ball handling errors. There's Sienna Foster, number 6. A 5'9" defensive specialist. That is a redshirt freshman. 1 kill on 2 attempts with no attacking errors. 5 assists, 19 service aces, 35 service errors, 58 digs, 3 receiving errors. That's really it. And this is out of 119 sets played, by the way, for everybody involved. So I don't know if this player is going to really play, but Bianca Lulick, number 7. A 6'5" middle blocker that is a registered sophomore. If she doesn't play, she doesn't play. It is what it is. 61 kills on 125 attempts with 17 attacking errors, 3 assists, 1 service ace, 12 digs, 1 receiving error, 49 blocks, 5 of those solo, and 8 blocking errors. Then it's Dior Charles, number 9. A 6'1" middle blocker that is a junior. 138 kills on 298 attempts with 45 attacking errors. Now, 1 assist, 23 digs, 2 receiving errors, 129 blocks, the most on the team, and 12 of those were solo and 17 blocking errors. And I'll skip down to Lindsay Miller, number 12. A 6'4" middle blocker that is a grad student. And I know she's only played 73 sets this year, so I don't know if she's really going to play or not. 117 kills on 258 attempts with 30 attacking errors. Now, 4 assists, 2 service aces, 10 service errors. $17 digs, 1 receiving error, 66 blocks, 4 of those solo, and 4 blocking errors. There's Akasha Anderson, number 13. A 6'3" outside hitter that is a senior. 308 kills on 777 attempts with 89 attacking errors. Now, 3 assists. She doesn't do anything in terms of serve, like no service aces, no service errors, any of that stuff, by the way. 44 digs, 21 receiving error, 21 receiving errors, yeah. Now, 54 blocks, 15 solo, 4 blocking errors, and 1 ball handling error. There's Grace Heaney, number 14, Heaney, a 6'2" opposite, which is basically like a right-sided hitter. That is a redshirt sophomore. 376 kills on 876 attempts with 93 attacking errors. 19 assists, 15 service aces, 24 service errors. 240 digs, 9 receiving errors, 95 blocks, 12 solo, 5 blocking errors, 1 ball handling error. And the last player I'm going to really mention is Julie Kane, number 21, a 5'11" defensive specialist that is a junior. Now, 1 kill on 15 attempts with 1 attacking error, 41 assists, 39 service aces, the most on the team, 26 service error, 26 service errors, 235 digs, 28 receiving errors. That's really it. I will say Baylor does need to step up their level from last game to this game. I think part of it has to be nerves, because it was a neutral site game, and some of these players probably have. I know MJ McCurry played in NCAA tournament last year, but a few others haven't. I know that Brielle Warren did go to Purdue, and she didn't play that much. So she's kind of familiar with the environment. Maybe she could help Baylor in that aspect. I know she might not play, but still, it doesn't really matter. But you can't tell me that some of these players that haven't played before. I know Grace Crowell played in NCAAs last year. Same thing goes for Tihana Uafatu, Manuel Mbembe in the past. But like a Morgan Madison did not. Obviously, I know Victoria Davis played in NCAAs last year. But like one of your better players in terms of kills is Ksenia Romanchik. She hasn't played in NCAAs, and same thing goes for Bailey Warren. And Harley Crack. She did play at times a little bit, maybe last year, but still, there might have been some nerves. There might have been. And this is the NCAA tournament, people. Anything could happen. Even a 3-seed Creighton team had to survive in a 3-2 match yesterday. Not trying to get off topic here, but that was pretty close to an upset. And obviously, BYU, that was a 5-seed, lost to Cal Poly 3-2. Even a 6-seed Northern Iowa barely survived against Utah 3-2. Even a 6-seed UTEP lost to North Carolina 3-1. An 8-seed UCLA barely survived against Georgia Tech 3-2. So you get the whole, and even a 7-seed Tennessee lost to Utah State 3-2. So you get the whole point. Upsets can happen. And this is why we play the games. And not assume these seeded teams are necessarily going to win all the time. And remember last year, some host sites lost in the first round. In the second round in NCAAs. So it's not impossible by any means. Obviously, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring in this game. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got to bring in this game. So that's obvious. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively, defensively. Don't try to get that home crowd involved as much as possible. And try to take the momentum away from them as much as you can. And while getting some of your crowd that's there involved in the game. And the good news is there was a lot of Arkansas State fans yesterday that could help Baylor today in terms of facing a real home crowd and not some neutral site crowd. There's a possibility. But I know it's a different level. I know because they're the host site and they're closer than Arkansas State. Definitely are. So you get the whole picture. And you can't be intimidated by the other team. You got to be the more mentally tougher team. And I know there might be some questionable calls here and there, but at the very end of the day, you got to make plays to win. And you got to do this for your seniors that are definitely not going to be back next year. Even Breon Warren, she worked on senior day, so there's a possibility this is her last match. I don't know about her playing, but you get the whole point. Sometimes your best defense comes from your serving, so you gotta serve tough and get some. You gotta be sharper on serves, and obviously get them out of system as much as you can. If they get an overpass, if they do an overpass, you gotta take advantage of it. Same thing as for like a free ball situation, and you gotta have your blocking step up in this type of game and shut down the best players as much as you can, and try to dig every ball out if you could. And sometimes you also have to win those long rallies because it does make a difference in the match. And not just in terms like that point or that set sometimes. You can't deny that. Now, offensively, obviously you want to stay in system as much as possible. You got to receive the ball well. I mean, that's just telling the truth to set up your offense. And if they can't stop a certain player, continue to ride it with the hot hand. I mean, Ksenia had 32 kills yesterday. Yeah, Arkansas State couldn't stop her. At times, they couldn't. But you gotta also have like some other help other than just one player stepping up big time. I'm just saying, it's important to have variety on offense too, whether it's from the middle or opposite or outside. Doesn't really matter on the offense, or even her going for a quick kill at times. And I know she tried, and they weren't just ready for it. Maybe it's all about the timing of it and trying to catch them off guard. The last thing you want to do in this type of match is give them some free points, like with a football or like a rotation error. You got to play a clean game overall in terms of the errors. Because I don't know how you win a game when you're not playing your best. But then again, yesterday Baylor proved that they can win despite not playing their best. And this is not like Nebraska in volleyball here. Oh no. They're worse than them. But it's pretty hard to be as good as Nebraska, though. They're unbeaten. You get the whole picture. You have no pressure going in this game. You got to embrace the role of the underdog and prove that you can not only compete with them, but win over them at their place. This is why the NCAAs are played. And I'm not saying Bengals are going to flat out win. Try to give your best shot. Whatever happens, happens. Because I do think the future of the program, as long as they don't lose key players to the transfer portal, it's in good hands. And they already have like a really good recruiting class. And I'll go with that in the state program, but they already got like, after the season's really over, they have 6 players signed already. So I'm just telling the truth. And obviously you want to avoid like net violations. You got to win the jousting up top as well. So you got to play like a clean game overall and try to reduce your ball handling errors and everything like that. Attacking errors, blocking errors, yeah. And if the opposing team does that, it's really on them. And obviously you want to limit your overpasses as well as your free balls as much as you can. And if nothing else, you just got to play really good defense. The sequence right there of plays. So let's go out there, give our best shot, see what happens. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road. And on subscribe, course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my mind, this course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm, some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. If more people could watch, and if you're watching and that's great, hit subscribe button, ring the notification bell as well. And I will say this: if Baylor does take a first set, they only lost 2 matches all year when they have taken it. So and obviously those 2 were against Kansas and Colorado, but you get the whole point. And one of them was a home match, one was the away. You get the whole point. Baylor is pretty good whenever they take first sets of some teams. And now they're not as good when they lose the first set, but they have done that like 3 times this year. Like I mentioned, including like twice down the home stretch of the obviously yesterday against Arkansas State. Even Texas Tech, they lost the first set to them at home, and they found a way to win 3-1. So we have to wait and see what happens here.